Hello world and welcome to Explorers of Elsewhere Live. Those of you on YouTube will know no different.
Nobody has to know.
No one has to know.
No one has to know. Hello, my name is Dan. We are the Explorers of Elsewhere. We are live and we have returned after a short hiatus of sorts to play some more Daggerheart for us and for you. Yes, we have finished the first act of the third campaign, the Titan Isles, and might I say that the Act 1 finale was explosive. Yes. Hello. Welcome to all of you in chat. Hello. Also, hello to Nate, just over away from me.
Hello.
Georgia, just below Nate.
Hello.
Tim, just below Georgia.
Hello.
And Theo, just down there.
Hello.
Unfortunately, we haven't got a Livy. She's feeling a bit under the weather, so get well soon. If we chant Livy's name like 5 times, maybe she'll appear in chat.
Dan, she'll appear behind you. Don't do that.
Yes, we are gonna pick up where we left off, which is to say, in a bit of a pickle, I think is the official term we can use for where we left off.
Yeah,
A bit of a pickle. So, before we kick things off, if this is your first time watching us, then hello. We play weekly around 7:30 each Monday, for like 3 or so hours each week. If you enjoy what we're doing, then please subscribe or follow on YouTube or Twitch. Like the video if we're applicable. But also, if you want to find out more about Elsewhere and the stuff that we're doing, I say this is the third campaign, so we've got other campaigns that you can sit in and watch. So we've got a D&D campaign, we've got a Blaze in the Dark campaign, we have another sort of like mini Daggerheart campaign from when the beta was running, as well as just an absolute myriad list of other like TTRPG systems that we've played in the past that have all been absolutely cracking. You can also join our Discord, which is free to join. And in the Discord, we've got building up a bit of a community, got some chatter about what's been happening in the campaign, and also just memes. But there's also going to be sort of like auxiliary content like artwork and themed playlists for our player characters. And if you really want to get into the reads with it, you should absolutely consider becoming a member here on YouTube or a patron over on Patreon. There are 2 tiers, one's for £3, one's for £5. That gives you access to a special members only kind of section within the Discord, and in there we're going to be start doing things like live streams. So me getting through my video game backlog, but also just sort of like more interactive stuff, behind the scenes videos, all that sort of lovely stuff. So, yes, Dan did say member. So, with all that said, players, who would like to return to the dustier streets of Dorlashal?
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
Okay, title screen.
Hello, I'm Nate, and I'll be playing Griffin, a Sanguivar bard.
Hi, I'm Livy, and I'm playing Abe, the Guardian Keeper.
Hello, my name is Theo, and I'll be playing Cooper, a Dragon Scent rogue.
Hi, my name is Georgia, and I'll be playing Cassandra, an Asavar sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Tim, and I'm playing Guardi, Majani Druid.
And my name is DM Dan, the Games Master in this adventure. Tragedy is an unwelcome but inevitable visitor in most stories, shattering certainty, disrupting order, and exposing our shared fragility. In the wake of such loss, some will grieve together, draw strength from one another, and rebuild not just what was broken, but the trust and compassion that tragedy so often threatens to dissolve. In those moments, unity becomes not merely a response, but a quiet defiance against despair. Yet, equally powerful is the temptation to let sorrow fester into anger and hatred, to demand vengeance, to mirror harm with harm. This path, though emotionally intoxicating, can hollow a soul and fracture a community. But justice must be served, for in the wake of Ekso Draven's attack, Dorlashal lies devastated. The town now lies cut off from the city of Avermore, granting Ekso Draven peace and time to carry out his heinous plans uninterrupted. For our heroes, however, the most pressing issue is what to do right now. And so, before I move us over onto a map, congratulations everyone on reaching level 5.
Whoop whoop.
Hooray.
Now we will spend 2 hours updating our character sheets. Strap in, lads.
So yes, we have leveled up. Everyone is now level 5. So the little kind of scroller that's zipping along beneath the chat bar, that is now updated with some of the new bits and bobs. But just a real quick whistle stop tour. Let's start with Theo. What's new on your character sheet?
Ooh, what is new? So I have changed one of my experiences, as discussed with Dan. I used to have Jack of all trades, which I felt was not being used compared to Street Smarts, which I felt kind of answered the same thing. So we had a discussion, and I've changed it to excellent aim to reflect his crossbow techniques. And after the events of last session, I also have gained a new experience, which is reckless, because he was quite reckless, throwing himself into people's way to take damage, etc. So I've done that. His ability scores have gone up in, I believe, from memory, finesse and agility, maybe. I think those two are the one I chose to go up. Mm-hmm. And I've also got some lovely new domain cards, which I'm not going to spoil just yet, but I do have some new domain cards, which hopefully I'll use soon. But yes, this also means my sneak attack has gone up, because I've gained the way the rogues work in terms of the sneak attack is you are between certain levels, you are certain tiers. So for example, level 1 is tier 1, levels 2 to 4 are tier 2, which is what I was on. Now I'm on tier 3, which is levels 5 to 7, which means that now it's 3d6 damage for sneak attack instead of it 2d6, which is very useful going forwards when we want to get Ekso in the face, which is obviously Cooper's plan. But yes, that's me.
Okay, very, very good. Next over to Tim. Just an aside as well for the players. If you open up your character sheets and go to the features tab, so like the third tab down, right at the bottom of your list of features, I have been keeping a track of your level ups. So just if you need a quick few pointers on what apologies, Theo. I neglected to tell you ahead of time. Next up, Tim. What did you get at level 5?
Well, checking my handy level up tab. I have also swapped an experience because Dan's lovely, and I have added a new experience. I have swapped out Herbalist because, to be honest, it didn't have much call for it. Swapped that out for Cool and Composed to reflect Guardy's peaceful nature. And he's also gained the Spirit Speaker experience due to talking to God, which I feel like is, it's going to leave a mark. When it'll come up, who can say? But we'll find out. I've specialized on my subclass, which gives me a new specialization. Lovely. Upgraded a couple of my abilities, and I've also got some fun little new abilities, which we will find later.
Okay. Also, as a heads up, if we click, it goes into chat.
We just like, where is it? Where is it?
If you hover, it will pop
Oh
up.
my god, you're right.
Yes.
You can also right-click and view item as well.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so next up, what does Cassandra have that she did not have moments ago?
This is a very good question, and I should remember this off the top of my head, but I do not. Likewise, Cass has gained a new experience. That experience is You Cannot Stop Me. I think born from the number of headshots she has been willing to attempt on her journey to talk to a god, or to get Guardy to talk to a god. I think she's earned that. She's also gained Instinct +1 and Knowledge +1.
Yep.
And she's gained 2 new abilities, which likewise I shall not spoil.
Yeah, they're gonna spice things up. When
I'm
you
so
decide to
excited.
use those. Okay, very, very good. And Nate, what did Griffin walk away with?
So he's got a new experience. He's got a new experience called I've Got Your Back, which gives him a +2 on his rolls. I've also changed one of my earlier experiences to now to Chatter Overdrive, which I'm hoping to use as some sort of a distraction. I think I'm the only one who hasn't updated their abilities or gone up any abilities. Instead, I took the upgrade on my Troubadour specialization. So now I've gone up to Maestro, which means when any of the players take one of my rally dice, they can also gain a hope or clear a stress, which is very nice.
So I know we've been cheekily just kind of like handing out rally dice at the start of the game, start of the session, but I think now it will make much more sense if you keep, like, if you just keep tabs on and be like, right, I am now giving you a dice to let you add to that roll that you fluffed.
I have gone up in evasion, so I've got a +1 to my evasion, and I also have a new domain card which I've added into my deck, and I will also keep that a secret as well.
Because now we're at level 5, and some of you have been picking up domain cards, like extra domain cards along the way. We are now experiencing the Daggerheart mechanic where you can only have, like, all of your abilities are effectively on a deck of, like, a hand of cards, and you can only have 5 in your hand at any given point. So you have had to put some of your abilities in the vault, but you are able to retrieve those abilities in exchange for stress, in, like, if you need them in a pinch, or you can freely swap them around during rests. But I think that's going to make things a lot more interesting now that you might be like, oh, do I eat some stress to trade in an ability that would be really handy right now that I don't have prepared. So yeah, that's going to be fun. And tell you what, I'll give a quick update for Livy. So Abe has... So quite sweetly, Abe now has a new experience called No Man is an Island. Which, yeah, quite telling after the last session. Went up proficiency, same as everyone else. Has picked up a domain, like a domain card, I think it's a bone domain card, called Vitality, which just permanently has given Abe another hit point and +2 to both his major and severe damage thresholds. And now Vitality is like forever in the vault. Like it's just like a one-off bump up. So now Abe's running around with like 9 health and like, yeah, crazy amount of health.
The tankiest of tanks.
The tankiest of tanks. Abe has also specialized into the stalwart subclass. So now he is even more of a bastion of defense that you lot can huddle around for safety. And last but not least, has upped his strength, as Chris has noticed in the chat, as well as his presence, interestingly. Perhaps memories of the failed diplomacy, the failed storytelling with a younger Ekso Draven haunts Abe somewhat. But yes, that is where we've upgraded. However, it's not all songs and roses, because 2 of you, and one of you isn't here, so we'll do that later. But one of you who is here did hit 0 hit points. And we've discussed it off air, and we've kind of decided that the most sensible kind of outcome of that, that the choice of death move that Cooper had to take was an avoid death. So you can either attempt to avoid, well, you can either avoid death, you can risk it all, or you can go out in a blaze of glory. Arguably, Ekso had already gone out in a blaze of glory, so that was kind of taken, and yeah. But yeah, so Cooper made sure he didn't die, having dropped to 0 hit points by avoiding death. However, Theo, you may find that now you are conscious, especially in the aftermath of seeing one hopeless Aileen fade away in your arms alongside Cassandra, you may find that you now own a scar. So please roll me a single d12. And if you roll a 5 or less, so your level or less, you gain a scar, and you permanently reduce your maximum hope by 1.
Okay. Let's go.
You are fine. Not even bothered about hopeless Aileen dying in your arms.
Just a weird
Barely
goblin she.
So yes.
Do I still gain a scar that isn't mechanic, or
if you narratively want to kind of wear the burden of what you've just experienced, and obviously the rest goes for all of you, right? Then please absolutely feel free. But mechanically, you have not lost a hope.
Ooh. I was literally preparing to be like, right, I'm going into this with only 5 out of 6 hope. That's fine.
So yes, when Livy's back with us, we will welcome her back with open arms, and then immediately make her roll to see if she loses a maximum hope. That's kind of all of the admin. So now I will we return you to a scene of abject destruction and devastation. As the five of you huddle in a crater that has carved out a mind-numbingly large crater in the more touristy district, the northern district of Dorlashal. As you look around at the scorched and kind of blasted debris around you, you can see that there are flickers of sickly green flame that mirror the hue of the power, the energy that seemingly was coursing through Ekso Draven's body up until the moment when he detonated. And in the immediate aftermath, like, the ringing in your ears is starting to subside, and in its place, you can start to hear the calamitous cries that are starting to ripple through Dorlashal. Not even ripple, they're crashing through Dorlashal like an untamed tidal wave, as acknowledgement of what has just happened starts to become more and more acknowledged. Cooper and Cassandra, we find the two of you holding the now limp body of a young goblin woman called Hopeless Aileen, skewered through the torso by a large piece of jagged lumber. Griffin and Abe, well, Griffin accompanied by Abe, you have rushed over to find Gardy sprawled out on his back, and Gardy, in the moments before your world went bright white, you had managed to shepherd the civilians that you sought to protect through the portal through to Avonmore. But as Abe and kind of Griffin have shaken you to consciousness, this is probably the first time that as you turn to look, you can see that this crater, kind of at its point of origin, you can almost see telltale spots of where the large stone arch portal to Avonmore once stood. The same portal that you and Cassandra stepped through not more than about a day ago. But the portal, and perhaps, well, the portal is absolutely shattered. And perhaps the devastating force of this explosion that's torn through Dorlashal, perhaps spurred on by the sudden release of arcane energies from the destruction of the portal. But you also see this aggressive, violent-looking lime green fire beginning to spread upwards out of the crater towards, like, the building, what's left of the buildings in your vicinity. By all reckoning, the crater itself is a good 120 feet across. It is nothing short of a miracle that the five of you have survived. But you all collectively turn to look to see the guard captain of Dorlashal, the dragon scent known as Captain Faniel Hastings, who is not as fortunate. His upper half laid strewn among the rubble, his lower half nowhere to be found. And Gardy, perhaps you're wondering why everyone looks quite well, there's obviously the shock on registering on everyone's faces, but there's something a little bit else on the faces of Abe and Griffin in particular. For the two of you have watched as the shattered fragments of blackened armor that Ekso Draven was wearing had reconstituted, pulled together by almost like a magnetic force, and you've watched the towering keeper reform with this powerful form of magic that reconstructed his body to how it was before his detonation. And then with a final warning.
Do you really think these would be the first world spirits I've devoured?
Ekso turned and left. So, on that cheery note, what are your first... What do you do? In this exact moment, as you're taking it all in, you can see for quite some distance because the buildings have been flattened. What does Cassandra do?
So are we separated, all of us, or are we?
You're all within sort in inverted commas. You're all with sort of like close, far range of each other. You're around this crater. I mean, obviously, the token is not to scale, but yeah, you are all kind of gathered in the basin of this crater.
I think Cass's immediate instinct is she kind of staggers to her feet. She's already assessed that Cooper is okay. She's given him a panicked hug, and now she's going to kind of clamber into the massive crater and look for any sign of the portal still being there and still being in use. Anything that they could possibly do to try and get it running again.
Okay. We won't even need to ask for like a check for this.
He's gone.
It's you find like fragments of the stonework and the bronze work, like the sandstone and the bronze work that constituted this portal. Perhaps, like as you see how thoroughly this portal has been obliterated, it makes you wonder. You can't help but wonder if maybe this was Ekso Draven's plan in the first place, that he would either he would destroy this portal one way or the other, because it's clear he has no plans for the city, for the town of Dorlashal, because he has left his mission accomplished. But the portal is absolutely devastated, and the time and effort it would take to rebuild the thing and then align the portal matrices with those of the concourse in Avamore, fundamentally, as you hold this piece of like blackened sandstone in your hands with a part of an arcane glyph on it, you realize you are stranded here.
I think Cass is going to realize this. She's going to sort of process this, and then she's going to turn to the others. Everyone's okay?
As Cass asks you all of this, I would like to pass on some advice from Ian over in chat that crying is a free action.
I was going to say I'm way ahead of him. I kind of feel like Griffin is crying, like the shock and the fear of almost losing people that he has only just known for a few days, but feels quite close to, is quite a lot. But he can't also tell whether or not it's the smoke and the debris that's sort of scratching his eyes. So yeah, there are sort of tears streaming down his face. He sort of mindlessly goes into his jacket pocket and pulls out an envelope just to sort of check on it, to check if there's to check if it's still there. And he noticed that there's sort of a few burn marks on it, and he sort of just checks it over, and then he hears Cass say, "Is everyone all right?" And he quickly pops it back into his pocket, and he goes, yeah, okay.
Good. Right. Okay. Well, people got through, so they know what's happened. They know they'll send people. We're not on our own. This is fine. This is fine. We can deal with this. We can work with this. This is fine.
Can we? And he sort of more bursts into tears.
Cass sort of notices for the first time that he's crying, and she sort of looks at him with that look of someone who isn't used to comforting people. Just like, oh god.
What, Gardy? You're like about half a minute behind everyone else. But what's going through your mind as you kind of take in what you're seeing?
I think he's just been staring at his hands for a minute while his brain like processes what's just happened.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point he just looks up and says, "Right, survivors, now bring them here. Go, Cass, find the survivors. Move."
As God, as you say this, perhaps with your sort of like keener eye, like as you're looking around, like your first thought being of finding and helping the survivors. You acknowledge that right now there are people who've survived, but without immediate, like almost near immediate intervention, will join the rest. So, Gardy, as you look around, I will say that you see a myriad of things that need doing. First and foremost, the four main priorities, if you will, is that there are people stuck under debris that need searching for and rescuing. When people are found, they will need healing and morale. You watch as these violent green flames roar up the sides of the crater with a speed that you are somewhat intimidated by. So you feel that you'll need to extinguish these wild fires. And once all that's said and done, you'll also, someone will also need to organize refuge and shelter. So four objectives, if you will, that the four of you, or plus Abe, can help with. And I am starting a progress countdown clock. I'm starting it at 8.
Wonderful.
I mean, if Gardy's directly spoken to Cass to get survivors, she's gonna grab Cooper by the arm. Say, "Come on, then."
I think if this is like the first time, I think Cooper's still. I think he's still been holding Eileen, and I don't think he's quite moved because the whole thing is a bit nuts. Like, he's not crying, he's just frozen. He's still got her blood on his hands. He is just still processing. And it does take Cass and like hearing Griffin as well to be like, just like very gently puts her down properly and makes her eyes are closed. And he gives her a nod. Okay. Right, and he starts looking around to see who he can find first, like who is his first person that he can reach out to help.
Between the four of you plus Abe, if you glance at the map, I have left NPC markers at NPC's last known locations. So if you wanted to kind of head to specific areas of Dorlashal to attempt to save people, like obviously these NPCs are not going to be the only people in need of aid when you get to locations, but at the very least it gives you something to look at. I'll let you talk amongst yourselves because I need to quickly reboot Foundry.
No worries.
I hope this doesn't kick everyone out because my keyboard's not working.
So, do we want to
Is it worth
split up to cover more
Yeah,
ground?
I was going to say, is it worth splitting up or splitting into twos?
2 sounds good.
Yeah, 2 sounds good.
Yeah. I got rid of all of my very handy, like, helpful person spells, and I only have destructive spells, and I'm realizing this was a bad idea.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Destruction's all you need.
I've only got 1 inspirational word left. I'm guessing there has been no long rest.
No.
Luckily, I wasn't very busy last time, so I'm
yeah, you're
good to
fine.
go.
You are at the start of a new session, so if you have any session abilities, so Cass is Unleash Chaos. If you've still got that in your repertoire, that goes up to.
So good for helping people.
That goes up to 3. Oh yes, true.
Yeah, we don't have enough chaos at the moment.
But yeah, the rally dice as well. Okay, so you're splitting into teams of 2.
I guess a 2 and a 3, technically.
2 and a 3, yeah. Okay, so who's going with?
I can go with Griffin. Make it different. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Griffin's also going to see that Cooper's finding it a bit difficult to sort of snap out of whatever trance he's in, and hearing what Gardy has said is also going to... I like to think that Cooper's now in between sort of like Cass holding one arm and Griffin holding the other. No, I take him.
Who would like to babysit Abe?
Who are the 2 squishiest?
Boy.
2 squishiest.
So we need someone to lift up like masonry and stuff. Who's the squishiest?
Oh, sure.
All of you, I think.
Yeah.
We're all pretty.
I at least have like my transformations and stuff, so maybe if you guys take a big strong boy.
Griffin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. That sounds good.
Okay. An uncharacteristically quiet Abe joins.
He's dealing
Griffin.
with some stuff. He's dealing with some shit.
He's dealing with a lot of
He's going
stuff.
through some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly concussion.
So you collectively know that to the east is Dockside and the Waters. So the Waters being like the Dorlashal town harbour, and then Dockside being sort of like the pirate harbour, the pirate docks. So you know that Montague was last sent in the direction of the Waters to try and get some idea of what was coming, like in terms of the attack. You also know the chances are that Matteo, the tavern keep of the Windward Peregrine, like he's literally on the water's edge. Slightly more to the east, you've got Shrine Tender Shayla in the Sailor's Sanctum. In the streets just to the southeast of where you are, that was the way you last saw Mayor Coraline. You also know that the stalls and the market area is down to the southwest, and at the very least, Tuka and Canlo Orga, the traders of the Varn Consortium, they were there along with Sir Frosh von Quackley, the peculiar little Aquan sprite, and also there was that curious young keeper lady called Clear Waters. She was also in the stalls. Otherwise, you know that Boss Ungrina was like other side of town. Elismira is not in Dorlashal right now. She did not come. She did not return on the boat. And I think everyone else is dead. So, where is Team Griffin Cooper, Team Best Buds going?
Shall we head towards the stalls?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I was going to say it might be quite good to find out if the mayor is still alive, because that would be quite useful knowledge to know. Because she can also help with morale if she's still alive and kicking. Because we are just little guys, we're not really, we're little guys apart from Abe. So maybe we could mayor and go around, and then the other group go towards the water.
Yeah, we can.
Would
If
that
you go
work?
sort of southwest and we go northeast and kind of like gather around.
Okay. So if you move your tokens to where you want to first stop, it's just free form move.
We'd probably be going Monty first.
Yeah, shall we kind of head in like a little zigzag and
Sure.
Montague, Sailor Sanctum, Windward Peregrine.
So, let's start with Cooper and Griffin. So, yeah, as you kind of clamber up the side of the crater out of the devastation, and when you kind of the ground itself almost sort of like starts to level out a little bit. The further away you get from the crater, obviously, the more of the ruin. There are more of the buildings are left. The sides facing the origin of the explosion have basically been knocked down, but there are still these kind of like skeletal struts of some buildings, like standing on the corners and sides furthest away from the blast. But it looks, frankly, quite hellish. And Abe is with you. As you kind of clamber through, you can hear like cries of panic and like anguish and desperation, and it's difficult to say exactly where the street that was called the Noble's Knot was, because there's no landmarks left really to identify it by. But yeah, you can hear as you arrive in this area that there are a number of people trapped under fallen masonry, like fallen walls, like wooden beams and all sorts of kind of rubble that have somewhat buried them. So with that in mind, what would the two of you like to do to try and help? Like, are you going to try and just help as many people as you can, or are you looking for the mayor?
I think personally just help as many people as possible, but because I don't think obviously we wouldn't know the mayor's in this direction. We were just like strategically we were like, well, if she is in this direction, that's useful, but narratively we wouldn't know that. So narratively it's just helping as many people as we can. Guardians asked us to get survivors, unless Nate is like,
are there people sort of running about as well? It's not just people under rubble.
Yes, there's still like there's a lot of sort of like walking wounded. There's people just sort of like in a fugue state, days, just kind of ambling about, looking around. That everyone is this like ghostly grey from all of the dust that's kind of washed over them as they just kind of look around in this slightly in a fugue state. But yeah,
Is there any way I can just sort of not sort of inspire them, but just sort of snap them out of it, so people who are able to help can also start helping us?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to like perform or preach or just sort of like snap people out of it to kind of get them off to safety, by all means.
I will do a presence roll then. I don't really have anything I can sort of play into this, I don't think, but I will do let's see, I don't think I've got an experience I can play into this. So look, no, I'll just do a straight presence roll.
I mean, I got your back.
Yeah, I'm happy enough to play that. I will spend a little hope. And
spend a little hope for you.
I spend that hope. And I will roll a presence. Normal. It's not great. It's an 8 plus 2, so that's a 10.
Okay. 8 plus 2, 10. As you, like, Griffin, as you kind of dart off, your calls for like attention fall on deaf ears, but I'm gonna ask you to tell me what is it that the crowds are sort of like more preoccupied. What one point of tragedy people fixating on rather than you?
Probably, let's have a think. There was a shrine, a different shrine to a different god happening, and there was a wedding happening at the time the explosion happened.
Mate!
What? That's pretty dire.
That's horrible.
The shrine, yeah, there are. You can see like people panic, like in a panic, trying to sort of like pull rubble, like the rubble away from the spot where the shrine to Selenith once stood. And like people kind of you're drowned out as people are calling other people over to help kind of like scrabble it through the dirt to try and get people who are buried underground. Unfortunately, a fail with fear does not mark anything on the tick on the countdown. And I gain a fear. What's Cooper doing?
I think similarly, I think he's going to see that Griffin is struggling to get attention, and then he's going to try. And I think it's going to be a lot more desperate. I think it's going to be a call to find somewhere safe away from the crater. I think that's going to be like, I think his concern is people are staying put and there could still be more danger. So he's like, he comes up to Griffin, like puts an arm around him, just kind of like, please listen to us. Like, we need to help or get out of this place. You've got to go. Please don't hang around. You've got to protect yourselves, please. And because of my, I have the scoundrel fee, which allows advantage on rolls to negotiate with criminals and detect lies. But it also says, or find a safe place to hide. And I wonder if I could be cheeky and try and weave that into story I'm trying to tell with this role.
I think you collectively have all done enough to earn some cheek.
So, yes, I'd like to basically roll to convince them more to find a safe place to hide. Okay. With advantage for that reason, which would be a presence roll, I think, for me. If that's okay then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Presence. So you can let me do it with advantage? Yes, he is. Okay.
So as a wee aside, I've for the players, I've popped the 4 like main areas of activity that you could be to use as a jumping off point for what we could be doing to help out.
Cool. I think mine will then fall under like organized refuge and shelter in that then.
Perfect.
Okay. Rolled with fear, but it was a 20, so hopefully it's better than nothing.
Yeah. So success with fear ticks my countdown down to 7. As you do success, so you're kind of shepherding people to somewhere safe, right?
Yeah. So again, looking at the map, I'm going to I can only assume because narratively I wouldn't know, but maybe like Cooper's trying to think of, because he's been on this island for a little while, like there must be somewhere that seems further from the blast, like away from the center. Like for example, would you say Hastings Hall or somewhere near there would be a safer refuge based upon what I can see on the map?
So Hastings Hall is a pretty good shout because it is a little bit further away. I mean, by the look, now that you're kind of out of the crater, you can see that everything kind of east of pretty much the Sailor's Sanctum, you reckon, is probably fine. So like if they were to head into pirate territory, for example, they'd probably be okay, or south further into the streets, or southwest into Moundside. So there's still a significant amount of Dorlashal still intact, but that's like still all of the districts of the town are going to get overrun with like panicking crowds without any semblance of order. But yeah, maybe Hastings Hall. I think
Hastings Hall is a good idea, and also Nathaniel's not here to argue, so Cooper thinks that's a win. So he's just gonna.
You'll also consider that because it's the barracks of the town, that guards might be kind of going there for instruction.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, you manage to sort of like gather some people around and kind of usher them towards Hastings Hall. As Cooper, as you're kind of sorting that out, Abe stands around looking, and what are you doing? Just telling people what to do? Bloody help me! He says as he stoops down and starts trying to grab large slabs of wall and just like pancake toss them to sort of like, for all its purposes, just start digging. Would either of you like to spend a hope to help Abe?
Of course, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So Abe is a big, strong boy. I've got his stat locked, so I can just go ahead and roll.
It won't let me spend a hope, Dan.
Won't it?
It says, please select a token you own. I have 4 hope, Dan. Let me spend it. Let me spend the hope.
No hope. Yeah, you're down to 3. Okay. That's what I was saying. Okay, so Abe attempts to pancake toss, and so it's a +4. And then a D6 for the advantage. So Abe, with your help, rolls a 23 with hope, which is
great.
So as Abe, effectively, like you watch as he just lifts up this kind of 8 foot wide slab of wall, and just like you see him crouch low and like he grunts, and like he's still bleeding profusely from the battle, and you almost feel like Abe's gone into a bit of a survival mode. But as he tosses this piece of wall aside, where the wall was, you see a Lorivar woman in a yellow dress. And Mayor Coraline looks unresponsive as Abe, incidentally, frees her. As Abe kind of stoops down to check on her, I'm going to, so the countdown's down to 5. I'm going to roll a fate check for Coraline. So this will be a raw 2d6, like a 2d12 roll, and whatever is highest determines her fate. But because you have collectively helped her, I can re-roll the hope dice.
Okay. Oh, she lives.
And as the wall slams to the ground with a thud and a plume of dust billows out, Coraline opens her eyes and she starts thrashing around on the ground like a panicking cat. And then her eyes look up to you, and you can see that there's a deep gouge across her forehead. Her arm looks broken, like her left arm looks broken, but she looks to you and what happened?
Griffin's gonna bend down. He's gonna try and sort of rip a part of his coat off and start making a makeshift sort of sling for her arm to sort of keep it in some sort of with some wood on the floor, just make a splint.
Okay.
And just say we need to get everyone out of here now. We need to get everyone away from here now, including you, Mayor. We need to get out now.
She looks whereas she is up until this point been quite an authoritative figure, she now just looks at you with this sort of this almost dumb confusion, dumbfounded confusion, as she just in a daze starts nodding as Abe picks her up, kind of hefts her up to her feet, as you finish the splint on her arm, and she looks around. We've got to, she says, and she just can't seemingly form words.
We're trying to help. We're suggesting people go to Hastings Hall. It seems to be safer from the blast. Just please help there. If we can help people get there, maybe it's a safe space, and we can keep looking for survivors.
Okay. Mayor Coraline looks to you and Hastings Hall, she says, and she begins to stumble away, and then she stops and turns back to regard the three of you and thank you. And then she begins shuffling off with the rest of the civilians heading towards Hastings Hall at your insistence, Cooper. Meanwhile, up further to the northeast, Gardy and Cassandra, as you kind of crest out of the crater on your way towards the docks, the waters, you notice that there are over here the buildings are kind of larger. They're less kind of packed in, where this is a more kind of warehousey kind of area. It wasn't as kind of densely packed as the tourism-y bit with the gambling dens and the drinking halls and whatnot. But between the two of you, you notice that there are people just sort of rushing around and kind of crashing into each other as they just kind of try to scatter in different directions, all away from the crater. But some are trying to go in towards the town, some are trying to make it towards the water's edge, and there's just a bit of a commotion. But between the two of you, you also notice that this green fire is kind of engulfing more and more ground at an aggressively alarming rate. But as you kind of make it out and take stock of things, what's the plan? What's Gardy doing?
I think, first of all, it's clear that we are in dire need of as much help as possible. And given that we are currently like saturated in what I assume is basically nature mana at the moment, given that it's like wild, it's wild spirit based.
Well, I should. What, Gardy, as you ponder this, I will just quickly jump in, and for Cassandra's benefit, as you have Arcane Sense being a sorcerer.
Is it just like everything?
Yeah, literally everything's on fire. No, so there is this strong kind of background primal mana that lingers in the air. It is dispersing, but it hangs heavy as it kind of like drifts out like a fog. But what you notice is that this green flame that's kind of ripping along the floor, it's not acting as normal fire would. It seems almost sentient, like it's deliberately moving towards areas where it would ignite things in a much more devastating way. And perhaps based off the color, you acknowledge that the flames seem to be saturated with burning primal mana as well. So when I call this a wildfire, the way I spell it is wildfire.
Wild
With a Y.
magic.
Yes. Yes. So, Gardy, yes. There's everything is very primally. You would also 100% be picking up on this. But yeah, Cassandra, you sense that. Interestingly, there's no real kind of arcane mana in the air. This is just like you are the site of a primal bomb for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I'll take that saturation of primal mana, and the first thing that comes to mind, which is my childhood imaginary friend Binky, and weave as much of it as I can into my summon familiar.
Oh no! You'll have to describe to me what your natural familiar looks like as I place down this squirrel.
Not too far off.
No! I give myself less credit than I should. Oh, he's massive. Yes, please describe what your wild natural familiar looks like.
Sweet. Well, he's 30 feet across, and
crush that fire.
No, he's just from out behind some rubble, implausibly, hops a cute little bunny, but he's got some cute little antlers, and I'm gonna spend a hope to give him the flying version as well.
Oh, he's got wings.
So he'll also have some little wings.
Very good, very good.
Boop, love a jackalope.
Indeed. So yeah, I'll pick him up, say quickly find survivors, and I'll just huck him into the air.
Okay. So your thingy, your natural familiar. I will say you'll have to spend some stress to bring that out of your vault into your hand. So I don't believe it's one of your prep spells.
I thought we could do that on the level up. But that may not be true. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'll take stress.
Fine. I mean, to be fair, there's quite a lot of things to be getting stressed about right now. So
yeah. Actually, I feel like
Walperting is fine.
Reasonable. Sweet.
So yeah, if you prepare that and then unprepare one of your other spells.
Yeah.
Yes, he's cute, isn't he, Carl?
Can I do like a spellcasting roll or something to try and draw mana out of the wildfire when I'm doing that?
So I will say it. So it would normally cost 2 hope to summon your familiar, but let's say it only
Was it
costs
2?
1.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Because you're drawing from the latent primal mana. So we'll say it's 1 hope. Make a spellcast command them to perform simple tasks. Mark a stress to see through their eyes. Okay, so yeah, roll me a spellcast check as you tell your. Does your Wolpertinger have a name?
Yeah, he's Binky.
Binky. Okay.
It's my sweet Binky.
As you tell Binky to like try and find people, yeah, roll me the spellcast, and then we'll use that towards the countdown clock.
Spoosh.
Okay, so that is a 17 with fear, which is a success. So we tick down the clock. Countdown down to 4. Okay, and then I will grab the fear. So Binky does manage to find people, kind of Binky finds a. So from his sort of like aerial, is Binky. What pronouns has Binky got? What particular pronouns? Best pronouns ever.
I'll probably just go he, him for convenience.
Okay, cool. So as Binky gets this kind of aerial view, like you're able to, between the two of you realise that the wildfire, like as it spreads through the streets, like through the what's left of the ruins of the buildings, the wildfire is threatening to cut off like supply lines, escape routes. It's almost like it's deliberately trying to pen people in, which obviously, and you just massively hamper any kind of relief efforts that are trying to save them. But I'll ask you, there's one particular building that's acting as a relatively like ill-informed shelter that the wildfire seems to be gunning for. What was this building before everything happened?
It was a dry dock for ship repair, so it's basically like a large warehouse with a lot of wood in it.
Okay. Okay, in which case, yeah, you, between the two of you recognize that this wildfire is spreading towards this dry dock, seemingly in an attempt to sort of like engulf it and then set it ablaze and trap whoever is inside for a grisly end.
Yeah, I'll given the amount of information, I'll spend a stress to have seen through his eyes.
Okay.
For that, and I'll see.
Cass is.
You're the only person I can think of who might know how to fix this.
Right.
Any thoughts on the fire?
Can I use well-researched and also my magical sense to know if this is a fire that we can put out through water or oxygenating it, or starving it of oxygen, or something of that nature? Because if it's a magical fire, Cass hesitates to say put water on it, or does she know of a way that could get rid of it?
Do you use foam or water?
Yes.
Or which extinguisher?
Where's the nearest fire extinguisher?
Okay.
There's one with the glitter for magical fires.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to use your sort of like your researcher, your well-read kind of backgrounds, absolutely roll me a knowledge check, and again we can use that use the result towards the countdown clock.
Cool. Knowledge. Where's my knowledge? Oh, there it is. Just normal or with advantage?
Your lawborn thing does stuff and things, right? I would say no. It's this isn't history, culture, or politics, unfortunately.
Okay. I would say Cass has obsessively been researching this kind of magic.
You can absolutely drop the hope to use your researcher experience.
So would that be with the advantage? I can't remember what the.
So +2.
+2.
Hope to get +2 to the roll.
Cool. There you go. 12 with fear.
12 with fear.
There's nothing.
What is Cass's, like, in the heat of the moment, what is Cass's answer to extinguishing these flames?
We have to get rid of whatever's feeding it. Does it look like... this is also something that she's trying to see. Does it look like it's consuming the wood around it? Does it look like it's just sort of racing across the floor? Can we tell what is feeding it? Or is it just so sentient that it seems to be... Do we need to block its path?
So as I say, it primarily looks like it is like, it's weird for me to say it's like heat-seeking fire, but that, let's say, it does seem to be kind of beelining. So Cass, perhaps magically you're able to kind of bring down some kind of debris in front of the fire to attempt to like block its path. And as these sort of like barrels and bits of like masonry, as you pull it down in the way, the two of you watch in horror as the wildfire reaches it and then begins, like, for all intents and purposes, consuming the natural material, like the stone and the wood, and the fire grows in intensity. It seems like it is literally feeding off whatever it burns, and it's absorbing it. But yes, on a failure with fear, unfortunately, I'll tick up the fear, but I'll then spend the fear as the fire kind of reaches this warehouse, and like you see the flames beginning to kind of peel up the wall of the dock. Within the minute, you suspect that this warehouse will be engulfed. What would the two of you like to do?
I have a stupid plan.
Okay, tell me your stupid plan.
I'm gonna try shouting at the fire.
Okay.
I'll use nature's tongue that lets me speak the language of the natural world.
Oi!
Oh, stop that! Oi, mate! Could you not?
Yeah, and
Excuse me!
with the spirit speaker experience, I'll just be like, leave this place!
Okay, that sounds quite presence checky.
Oh no!
Can I assist in any way?
Well, if you want to assist, you by all means. So you can spend a hope to give Guardy advantage. Guardy, if you want to spend a hope, you can absolutely use your spirit speaker.
I'm gonna need it. Cheers.
Could I wind back a little bit, and just before Cass and Guardy ran off, Griff goes, yeah. It's just like, don't worry, guys, we've still tears running down his face. Oh, we got this! And give you some rally dice.
Okay, so you have got rally dice, and I would also say at this point that as you are retroactively given a rally dice, you can also clear a hit point or a stress.
It's a stress or gain a hope. Ooh. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Stress or gain a hope. Bring palm.
Love to gain a hope. Big fan of a hope. Presence, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Is that with advantage as well from Cass?
Is Cass spending the hope?
Yes, Cass will spend the hope.
Thank you very much.
Okey-dokey. So I'll deduct a hope off Cass.
And then +2 on this.
And then Guardy's.
Oh!
Thank God.
24 with hope.
Yay!
24 with hope.
I think I used the wrong stat, to be honest, so it might actually be
That's
a bit
fine.
less, but not that much less.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. What does it actually end up being? So it's 4 less. So it's a 20. It's a 20 with
20
hope.
with hope.
Okay. Cass, what do you... How do you react when you see Guardy Like, what does your natural speech look like when you're talking to sentient flames?
Oh, mine.
Yeah.
I think like I almost look like I've caught fire. Like there's a ghostly, slightly faded out version of the flames rippling along my body.
Are you pulling a Galadriel when she gets grumpy?
That's the hope.
She'll love me and despair.
Okay.
Like I'm a bit shorter than Galadriel, so it's probably not quite as impressive, but we'll give it a go.
So as you kind of invoke this like flaming kind of avatar persona as you speak to the flames, Cass, how does the fire react in so much that it regresses from the warehouse in a manner that is just baffling to watch?
I imagine it is kind of like when you starve a flame of oxygen. It's this kind of like, it begins to kind of like, it's like Cuddy has shouted at it and now it's embarrassed.
Sure.
It starts to lower and lower and lower and kind of back down the walls away.
Okay. In which case, as you watch the flames kind of begin to peter out, Cass, Gardy, as you kind of command the flames, you like hear this chorus of voices in your head, demanding freedom and retribution. And you're not entirely sure why the flames feel this way inclined, but as they protest against your command, but eventually kind of acquiesce to it, you have successfully reduced the countdown by, pardon, not that much. You've reduced it by 2 to 2, and the warehouse is saved. As like the people that were cooped up inside, sort of like they're like peering through windows, and then as they watch the flames kind of retreat back around you, Gardy, and perhaps worryingly, the flames almost kind of like begin to snake off in a different direction, shunned by your presence. These civilians kind of rush out, but you hear inside, "Someone help! Quick help!" And the two of you peering in find that this civilian cradling the small petite form of Montague Skew.
That's my baby boy.
And I will now roll a fate check for Montague. But as you helped in this endeavour, I will re-roll the hope if need be. Montague seems conscious but barely clinging on to life. Is there anything the two of you do to help the young Laravar boy? I say boy, he's a young adult. Or are you just sort of like helping the civilian to sort of like carry Montague out to safety?
I know that's all Cass can do. She's not got any hope left, and all of her spells are destructive. So all she can do is help with her hands.
I'm going to finish a job the fire started. Bam!
I think, oh God. I'm going to save... I've only got like one heal in me, so I'm going to save it for now. I mean, he's conscious and breathing.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah.
So Montague,
pointing the way.
Montague Skew is alive. Okay. So 2 for 2. Jumping back to Cooper, Griffin, and Abe. So Mayor Coraline is now heading off to Hastings Hall. Montague is also heading that way. Let's say that. Where are you three now going?
I think it's the stalls we agreed to go around that way.
Heading to the stalls.
Okay. So as you head west to the marketplace, where this is more on it looks like it is on the periphery of the crater, but the concussive blast has still like shredded the market stalls. There's pieces of tattered fabric hanging down, and perhaps worryingly, you also notice that as panicked kind of crowd members like rush in all sort of different directions, perhaps very upsettingly, you can spy a number of people seemingly moving against the grain, ducking into open shop fronts and into devastated market stalls, seemingly looking for easily gotten, like ill-gotten gains. This is 10 minutes after the explosion, and people are already attempting to loot where they can. But what do the three of you do? You can hear, actually I will step in and say, you can hear cries from the market stalls off to your left, and glancing over, you can see that there are 3 figures trapped under rubble. You can see 2 goblins, Canlo and Tuka, and you can also see Sir Frost von Quackley.
Are they all under the same rubble? Can we hear them all in sort of like the same area?
You get the impression that you can relatively easily, in inverted commas, save one of them because they're in 2 separate groups, or you can try to rescue both.
I mean, we have Abe, who's a strong man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we could try and convince him to save one set, and then maybe Griffin and Cooper do the other as a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like we're at least equally giving over. We're attempting to save as many as possible that way, instead of focusing all our eggs in one basket.
Okay. In which case, Griffin and Cooper, who are you going to save? Von Quackley or Tuka? Tuka and Canlo.
You've got a preference, Nate?
If we go for the goblins, then Abe can go for...
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. So Abe goes to, you hear cries of help me, coming from Von Quackley. And as the other two of you head over, under the, you hear these sort of anguished, panicked, cries from Tuka Orga. As she sees you coming, she's sort of please, quick! He's not moving! He's not moving! She says as she squished under the pillar that she's being crushed by. Are you two tag teaming, or are you?
We can't really tag team because none of us have enough hope.
Cooper's got 3.
I have 3 hope.
All right, then you can.
So
Yeah.
I can use my hope. That's no issue.
Okay.
So we can do that.
So tell me what. As the two of you approach, and as Abe approaches Von Quackley, I say the 3 of them are these 2 goblins and this sprite are trapped under rubble. But you recognise that the building that they're kind of in the shadow of, there are cracks beginning to work their way up the supporting beams of the front of this store, and you know that in a matter of moments this shop front's going to come down on whoever is still under the rubble, and that's realistically a one-way ticket if that happens. Okay. And they're still under there. So
In
As
that case, before we do
I
it,
will spend a fear because I'm now very much threatening to kill these two, these three.
before we do a tag team, can I do time lock on the building then, on the wall front?
Oh.
Yeah, Nate, go.
Let's
Do it.
do it.
Yes, push spell.
It will be my. That's a 15 with hope. Plus
15.
Yeah, plus 3 is already
with
on there.
hope. You, like, between the two of you, you watch, like, as you reach the two goblins and you start trying to sort of like figure out how to get this rubble off the two of them without everything happening. Griffin, as you look up, you hear your attention is snatched by the sounds of cracking. And like as you look up, you watch, as I say, as these supporting pillars, like the cracks arc up to the top, and you watch as one of the pillars just sort of like crumbles along its midriff and slides out diagonally. And as it does, there's a heavy kind of rock on rock wrenching sound as the front of this large sandstone building starts tipping forward. And as you, I guess, almost instinctively stand up and thinking of the boat on the coast of the island, what does your successful time lock look like?
He's already holding on to his concertina. He's almost using it like a sort of calming tool to sort of as he's waiting for Cooper to sort of instruct him on what to do. And then when he sees this pillar starting to fall, he just massively gives like a rip of a cord from the concertina that emanates in sort of like a bright red beam that sort of grabs hold of the pillar.
Okay. So yeah, this beam kind of wraps around the wall as it's tipping down towards the two goblins and the two of you. And as the beam sort of like latches onto the buildings either side, it acts almost as like a bungee of sorts. Just at the wall, just hits it and then freezes at a perilous kind of 30 to 45 degree angle towards you. And you have successfully bought yourself a lot more time. So this will now be, I will give you advantage on top of your tag team to try and get these two out.
Nice.
So if the two of you are working together, Cooper, if you spend your 3 hope, and both of you, I'm going to have to ask for strength checks, realistically.
Could I request doing an agility one instead? So Cooper's lifting up and Griffin's trying to get in there quickly to pull them out.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. In which case, well, you tell me how. Well, one of you is going to have to do strength, but
you happy doing that for you?
Yeah, I mean, I have a +1 in strength, which I think isn't. Is everyone got a +1?
It beats my 0.
Okay, cool, that's fine.
And you both have advantage. So if you both roll, and then we compare, we see who's rolled the highest.
Okay. Okay.
14 with fear.
Can I roll my rally dice as well?
Sure.
It's a 4, that makes it an 18 with fear though.
18 with fear. With like Griffin, you stop and watch as Cooper like stoops down and with a hefty grunt, Cooper, you are almost would you say you're almost surprised by your own strength as you manage to lift this pillar that arguably, like any other day before today, you feel you would have struggled with?
I mean, yes, but I think the adrenaline is what's keeping him. I think, like, genuinely, he is in a lot of pain, and he's trying to keep that under wraps. So everything that he's doing is a distraction. So, like, even though, like, he's probably using his good arm, because I feel like he's hurt himself quite a bit, to help Like he's surprising even himself, but he's so focused on the adrenaline, it's not really come into his own head yet as he's trying to get stuff sorted.
Okay. I mean, in which case, yeah, you feel this adrenaline kind of surge through as you kind of lift this. It looks like one of those kind of ridged, like marble type pillars. And as you lift it up, Griffin, you take the opportunity to kind of grab these two goblins by the scruffs of the neck for all intents and purposes. And as you wrench them out from under the rubble, like the amount of effort you have to, because goblins are dense, right? They're small, but they're dense. And the amount of effort that you have to put into it to sort of like pull them out, your time lock like snaps, and Cooper and Griffin, you have to throw yourselves backwards to avoid this wall slamming down on you. So I will ask that to both of you mark a stress. And Griffin, as you sort of like roll with this goblin couple, Tuka, like she kind of slides off and bumps into a nearby wall, and you are kind of left with like clutching the collar of Canlo Morgans, the man, the husband. And as you turn Canlo over, I'm going to roll a fate check with advantage because you managed to save him. And Canlo's eyes like slowly flicker open as he... What's happening? What's happening? Sorry. What's happening? He says as he looks around, and then he immediately sort of like starts slapping his chest as if to check he's still there. And then we're alive, he says. And you watch as Tuka and Canlo just sort of like, Canlo bursts out of your grip, Griffin, and the two like embrace, and there's this most gratuitous public display of like full-blown tongue jousting snogging as they just caught in the moment. Meanwhile,
they deserve it.
Meanwhile, you hear a crash from the other side of the market.
Let Abe use his rally dice.
Abe's got a rally dice, right?
Yeah, of course he does.
Is it a D6?
D6, yeah.
Shit.
You hear this crash, and as your heads snap over to look, you notice Abe sprawl like on his backside, having had to throw himself away from this kind of collapsed building, and under this pile of this piece of rooftop that's slid down into the stalls, you spy a small blue hand emerging from the rubble. And Sir Frosh von Quackley has perished in the
It's
rubble.
alright, use one of his miracle elixirs.
Yeah, just feed him
He'll
one of
be
those.
fine.
He's fine.
And as Abe like sits there just looking at the spot where this sprite has been crushed, like from around the corner, the young keeper lady Clear Waters, like as she steps out, she looks surprisingly like unharmed. Like she doesn't look like she's been near a cataclysmic explosion at the heart of Thorlashal. But as Clearwater steps out, you can see that she's got a hand on Abe's shoulder, and she's sort of like nodding and saying, "You did everything you could. You did everything you could, she says, as Abe just, like, you see his head shaking slightly at the spot. Sorry, Livy, we've given Abe more trauma. Okay. With your check earlier, the success with fear, that drops your countdown to 1. Gardy and Cassandra.
Mhm.
Are you continuing on towards the dock, like the waters?
Shall we go to Sailor Sanctum or Shrine Tender Shayla? I feel like that'd be a good triangle.
Livy would not forgive you if you didn't save Shayla.
Frankly, I wouldn't forgive myself.
Okay.
None of us would.
Well, in which case, as the two of you sort of like stand looking out, like from where you're stood, you have a relatively clear view to the water's edge. And before you decide to kind of peel off to head towards the Sailor's Sanctum, you can see the state of chaos that is overrunning the waters, the docks. It looks... Perhaps it's a bit difficult to kind of acknowledge, but it looks like something has carved a trench into the docks, like through the wooden jetty, and then taken a big old chunk into the stonework of the docks, like docks proper, like the foundations of the docks. And like as you look up into the now kind of night sky, just highlighted in the moonlight, you can see this gargantuan black iron vessel sailing away from Dorlashal back towards the island. And you acknowledge, as you kind of glance and see all of the bodies that are laid sprawling around from savage kind of slashing or piercing wounds, that whatever that Ekso Draven must have arrived on that ship and literally rammed it into the docks. But as the two of you peel east towards the Sailor's Sanctum, you find that miraculously the Sailor's Sanctum is intact, and the reach of the devastation seems to have gotten all the way up until its like western wall before stopping. And perhaps if either of you were more kind of religiously affiliated, you might wonder if this is Barahan's protection keeping a shrine in his name standing. But you can hear the commotion coming from the shrine before you reach it. As Shrine Tender Shayla is rushing around desperately trying to tend to this wounded, and there are more and more people coming by the moment. And as she spies the two of you, she just like there's this look of sheer kind of desperation and panic in her eyes as she, "Please help," she says, as she kind of looks around as people are kind of laid out on pews, some are just on the floor. You see one person kind of slumped against the fountain in the corner of the shrine. There are people just kind of lining the streets outside. And more people are arriving by the moment.
What do we do? How do we help?
Anything you can. Anything. Physical healing, magical healing, emotional healing. Anything, please, she says. Go.
First, just as we kind of arrive at the situation, seeing that ship sailing to the distance, I will turn to Binky once again and say, follow that ship. Find out where they're going.
What noise does the Wolpertinger make?
Nightmare sound.
Binky, you beautiful and cute creature, go spy for me. Amazing. Okay, so Binky is tailing the iron vessel. Very good.
Cass, I know you haven't got much healing or anything, but you're pretty intimidating. Do you think you can get these people into some sort of order?
Sure, yes. Cass has never considered herself an intimidating person. This is news to her.
Well, Cass, I will ask then, as you're kind of asked by Gardy to like whip these people into shape. So, you know, I guess we're talking like a 10-to-1 ratio of like people needing medical, like some form of medical attention versus people who are equipped to give medical attention. And that ratio, I say, is only growing by the moment. So as you glance around, how describe to me how two people that are attempting to help, how are they helping? Like, what is it they're doing to help for gather crowds?
I think Cass is actually quite. She's from a big family of quite chaotic people, so I think she is accustomed to the kind of voice that you need to corral family members into doing what you want. So I imagine her plan would be to have everyone who is injured on one side of the temple, everyone who can assist with injuries to the other side of the temple, and then from there can kind of pair up and assess from the injured who is the most injured, who needs immediate, triage basically, who needs immediate attention, who has minor injuries.
Okay, so you're effectively whipping them into a system of triage.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, that sounds quite presency.
I think that's presence. That's
I definitely. Is it? Do I spend a hope to help with that?
Yeah. So if you spend the hope to help Cass, so as you, how is it you're helping?
Probably, I'm just trying to calm people down, point out where Cass is telling people to go to, marshalling them around.
I think one of my abilities, I can make I can use my elemental ability to create small harmless effects. So I can create like a thunder rattle, to get everyone's attention, and then Gaddy can kind of be kind, be a nice person.
Yeah, I'll be good cop.
You'll be good cop.
Good cop, bad cop.
Classic.
Okay. But bear in mind, as an aside, Georgia, that you can eat one of your domain cards for hope. If you do want to get some more hope, you can gobble one of those down.
If only you had Ape here to be nice to us. I have so much hope.
Okay, so if Gardy is helping, so if Tim, you spend your hope, and then Cass, you roll your presence with advantage, and you had that. Oh, that's fine. Okay. So 18 with fear. As you use this sort of like thunderous, your thunderous affinity, like to kind of rattle the windows and the rafters of the shrine, like there's a mini panic as people are like, there's another bomb. But between you and Gardy, you are able to sort of like while people's attentions are like fraught and everyone's kind of looking up, you're able to then kind of gather their attentions in your direction. The like they're starting to move into like follow your orders of sort of like separating themselves out, but they're not particularly going very quickly. And Gardy, you are acutely aware that there are people that are fading fast while this sort of like slow, like to me, to you, excuse me, kind of sifting is happening. What is it that you're doing to save the day?
So as soon as it's starting, at least the like utter chaos is starting to turn into something resembling people trying to do something constructive, I'll just marshal as many of the severely injured people together as I possibly can, and bash out a healing field.
Okay. So I was going to say, yeah, the fear thing that I'm introducing upon is like as you're watching people sift out and like you know that people are slipping away, like another group of about a dozen wounded turns up and threatens to overwhelm everything. But if you drop a healing field as this group turns up, so you just give a hit point to everyone within close range of you, right?
That's the one. So basically as many of the worst injured people as I can smush into that ball.
Okay. What does your healing field look like in this temple to Barahan?
Oh, remind me, what's Barahan's...
Sorry, Renangar.
What's Renangar's deal again?
Renangar is the Sky Watcher. So his domain is everything between the sea and the stars.
So probably then it would be kind of like blossom or leaves that start to materialize in the air above us and drift down in that sort of range, gently sort of spiraling down, and everyone who's injured that they land on, they kind of almost like melt into their skin and fix what they can. It's only a hit point, so people are still going to be pretty battered, but yeah, hopefully that's doing it.
Okay. In which case, as you like, as these kind of blossoms begin to kind of like spring up as the healing magic falls, you watch as that's a bit too happy. You watch as some of the blossoms kind of hit the ground and then kind of sprout into like the field in inverted commas. Gardy, you are taken aback slightly as the field just starts growing in all directions. And Cass, as you sort of like look around and wonder what Gardy's doing, because it fundamentally looks like a magical terraforming that's just beginning to occur, and then it dawns on you, being like the more academically minded, that Gardy's healing field is seemingly feeding on the primal mana that is rich in the air. And Gardy, you watch as your healing field spreads outwards across the crater, and then this lush kind of meadow begins to sprout up in the wake of the devastation that peels down towards the center of the crater. And like you see people kind of looking around confused, and sort of like some people like they look a little bit panicked as this like greenery kind of washes over their feet. But then you witness as all these wounded people just start to like, they look at their kind of cuts and bruises and watch as they begin to knit themselves back together. And between the two of you, a success with fear and the healing field, that is enough to successfully complete the countdown clock. And Gardy and Cass, as you watch this healing field grow and grow throughout the crater, and you watch as the wildfire is snuffed out by the growth. Like, even as it tries to kind of burn and consume the healing field before it's just kind of washed over and smothered. Like, Shayla steps in between you, and she watches with the rest of the civilians, and you hear them start to say how beautiful it is. And what's happening? Is everything fine? Like, is it over? And Guardian Cassandra, as you acknowledge that the immediate danger is over, we'll grab a quick break.
Oh.
So, a very, very quick break. We will jump away for 10 minutes, I believe. That got very lively all of a sudden. So yes, we'll jump on a quick 10-minute break, and we will kind of pick up with the 5 of you, or 4 of you, plus Abe, when we come back. So, thank you to everyone who's been watching over in chat, and thank you to you 5 for playing through the first half. For all kinds of purposes, we've saved the town from further destruction. Hurrah!
Yeah.
If you're enjoying this, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe or follow on YouTube or Twitch. And if you want to see more discussion, join the Discord. The link is in the description. We're going to disappear for 10 minutes. We will be back at just after past. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Explorers of Elsewhere Live. I'm DM Dan. I'm joined by Nate, Georgia, Tim, and Theo. Hello, 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 hello. And we rejoin our heroes in the town of Dorlashal, which is going through some light renovation, it would seem. It would seem. Yes, hello to all of you in chat on YouTube and on Twitch. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, we're pretty much going to jump straight back in. If you find yourself enjoying this, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe or follow on YouTube or Twitch. Jump in and join our Discord. The link's in the description. And if this is your first time watching Daggerheart, or maybe even if it's not, but you haven't got the rules, you can get digital copies of these rules from DriveThruRPG. And if you use our affiliate link, which is also in the description, it doesn't cost you any extra, but it's really helpful. Like, it's amazingly helpful for us because we get a little bit of kickback. So that's a fantastic way of supporting us. So, with all that said, who do we... I think... Are we all in agreement that we have a bit of a time jump?
Yeah.
Time, okay. So, in which case, where do we find the four of you? I think it would be, in inverted commas, wise if Abe is sulking. Abe has done an Abe and has wandered off on his own. Where do we find the four of you about an hour after Gardy's kind of transformation of this crater into what is now a concave glade of primal infused field?
Theo, would you agree if Griffin and Cooper had seen that they would follow it?
Yeah, like they would have absolutely gone, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then, like,
You think to white?
I guess my question is, because the Sailor's Sanctum, obviously, did you say it was hit or like just missed the blast? So like, is it a safe space for people to congregate, or would you say the Hastings Hall is still like the best refuge for people that there is?
Griffin and Cooper, like by the time you make it round this crater, because yeah, you would have seen that, like, oh, there is grass growing under my feet. What is happening? Yeah, as you sort of like follow the crater round, you find the Sailor's Sanctum is standing, but it is like miraculously on the absolute edge of sort of like the blast radius. And whilst the western wall of the shrine to Renangar, the Sky Watcher, has been sort of like battered with all the stuff that's like slammed into it, and like one of the windows is smashed. The shrine as it is, you know, the larger shrine in Dorlashal is still standing. So perhaps it's divine intervention of some sort, but the shrine is standing. But you also acknowledge that if the shrine's okay, Hastings Hall is probably also okay and a little bit further from the crater, but arguably the crater isn't a threat anymore.
But it's in terms of like, if refugees are congregating somewhere, I imagine the hall is quite a big estate. That's what I'm imagining.
Oh, sorry, yes. Correct.
So, does it make sense for people to congregate there as a point of refuge? So, like, for example, talking to the mayor or anyone we need to speak to would probably be all in one place. I'm just trying to think logistically about where we'd all be to recover and recuperate. And if a shrine is like slightly battered, we're relieved that it's there still, but it might not be a safe space to currently
the shrine's
exist.
probably like the hospital area at the moment.
Yeah, I think we'd probably be trying to get healthy people out of there.
Yeah,
into somewhere safe. So like that would make sense for
that. That is precisely it. Yeah, any like people who have knowledge of healing, whether it's physical, magical, or say like spiritual, emotional. Like they are now, like you over the space of the past hour. Now that it seems that Mayor Coraline has reached Hastings Hall, and she's been able to sort of like begin to instrument a response. Now that Hastings Hall has become a bit of a central hub. So guards are now kind of following her orders and fanning out to kind of gather civilians and bring them away from kind of hotspots. Guards have gone out to stop like looters in the stalls as best they can. People who are injured are heading up to the Sailor's Sanctum for healing. There is like a sense of procedure that's starting to filter into the carnage and the chaos. This is all. It all becomes very kind of surreal because it is like fully nighttime now. The stars are out on force. The moon is shining surprisingly. The stars are out in force, but the moon sets a tone. It's got this reddish hue to it. So it's kind of washing the town with a slight crimson haze, crimson filter. But yeah, the night, the air is warm. Obviously you had the sounds of people coughing and spluttering and kind of cleaning themselves off of the dirt and debris that they've been caked in. But there is some sort of like semblance of order returning. What's Griffin decided that the four of you are doing at this moment in time?
I think because he's seeing some sort of order sort of get into place, I think he probably notices Cooper maybe now getting a chance to breathe, sort of more trying to sort of take in what's happened. And probably seeing the other two as well. I don't know whether Guardy's probably looking a little bit still shocked about how much his field has spread, and Cassandra, I don't know, is probably just studying it. Griffin's gonna suggest, guys, I'm wondering whether or not it's maybe it's a good idea if we get out of here. I mean, the Windward Peregrine is I've heard that's still standing. That's still good. Maybe we need to come up with a plan, sort of like come up with something. We're going to do something, right? We're going to sort this, right?
I think for the first time, I think the first time ever for Griffin, I think Cooper looks like quite stern. There's this like rage just kind of bubbling under his chest. He doesn't know what to do with yet. A lot has happened in a very short space of time. And again, that processing is still happening. And at your question, he's like, of course we're doing something. We have to do something.
Cooper, as you kind of find yourself kind of battling with yourself over this rage that keeps on surging up your esophagus, threatening to spill out into the world. Like it takes quite a lot to kind of keep that contained, keep that kind of bottled in such a way that it's not just kind of damaging to yourself. But perhaps what makes it slightly more stressful is that you've also got this urge, like this feeling to leave, to hide, to relocate, to find safety. And you almost find yourself, like you can almost hear like a voice in your head telling you, this is too much. We need to lay low.
And yeah, I think the rage trumps that. I think every time he wants to flee, he sees Eileen's face, he sees the hand of Safrosh, he sees Griffin crying, he feels Cassid's panicked hug, he sees the meadow again, and it's that rage, and then Ekso, and how determined and pleased he was with his destruction, and he just knows he can't.
Yeah.
So again, he'll reiterate, we have to fix this.
And perhaps then, how do you feel? What goes through your mind when you kind of make that pledge? We need to fix this. There's almost this flare of not irritation, scorn, maybe, like a child's scorn, almost. A child that's just been told they can't do something. You just have this flush of emotion that again you can easily quash. But like that almost feels like it wasn't you almost.
Yeah, I think like he visibly kind of seems to look a bit uncomfortable just for a very small second, and then it's back to focus.
Okay. How, between the two explorers, as Cooper says we have to fix this, what's the plan? Avamore is no longer on the cards.
That's a very good question, Dan.
Yes.
We just tried to fight the man, and it didn't. It went really, really badly.
And now we have no way home and no way to call anyone at home.
So, I guess the one thing to bear in mind is, as you sit and kind of take stock of everything that happened, would it be fair to say that quite most of you are kind of replaying the events of this evening?
Yeah.
Gardy, you are acutely aware that there is something very wrong with the world, with the Titans on the Titan Isles. And Cassandra, you also acknowledge that the Titans were infected with some sort of arcane corruption, which was seemingly driving them into this frenzied state. But they have been separated. They are now home. They've returned home, wherever home is on the Isles. But Ekso, Gardy, you would have, like Bingle would have returned by now. Was there anything in particular that you were hoping that your Walpertinger was keeping an eye out for?
Ideally, a location of wherever they've got, really.
Okay. In which case, you note, the Walpertinger, because it's not, it's only 5-6 miles from Dorlashol to the Isles. It's a very short sail, very short journey. And Bingle was able to successfully, under the cover of night, like the ship simply made landfall back on the southern coast of the Titan Isles, and what remained of Ekso's kind of Reaver party had disembarked, and like Bingle lost them in the forests, like just off the coast, the same forest that you collectively all walked up through. So Ekso Draven has returned to the Titan Isles.
Okay.
And yeah, his promise, his pledge is still fresh in your ears, that he will consume the world spirits to retake the divinity within them for himself.
I suppose ultimately we want to get to the world spirits, cure them, or whatever's going on with them, and then stop them from being eaten.
It's fair. It's a fair plan.
I can't even cure any more of these people. It took everything out of me, that whatever happened. I can't cure a kid. How am I going to cure a god?
We've got to
What do we
try.
do?
There's nothing else we can do. If we get to them, we reason with them. They're living things, so we fix them.
You were able to talk to them before, which was,
They're
by the
so-
way, very impressive. But besides the point, all we have to do is try. If we try, we're not... I don't know, just it feels worth trying. Because if they are able to resist Ekso, it makes it easier or harder for him to devour them or whatever it is he's planning on doing.
We have to leave these people to do it.
I think they'll be okay. Like Cooper looks like genuinely like
stumbles past with an arm off.
That'll be fine.
Look, I've lived in many cities. I've seen lots of chaos. I think they are in a much better place than some cities I've been to. Not that I'm saying that I've been in this sort of crisis before, but they have a mayor who's still alive, thanks to us. That she can keep things under control, and she has guards. And we're not alone. Like, they're not alone. So it's not like we're abandoning them. We're hoping to make things better by stopping this happening again somewhere else.
If he takes these gods, who knows what it'll become.
Exactly.
Well, what else can we do?
What's Griffin thinking?
I mean, can we really... He looks around for Abe and sees that Abe has wandered off. We've got to do something, but what can we do with just now the four of us? Like, is there anyone we can ask for help? Can we, like, surely people are going to come together if we know that there's such a bigger threat than this. Like, surely the pirates will help us. Maybe even the keepers might help us. I know that they might be, not willing in the first place, but now seeing this, maybe.
The pirates might be more inclined, I guess, considering we have just seen the town that's been funding them decimate. Do we know, Dan, how the pirates were? What reaction have they had? As they were obviously a little bit further away from the blasts and everyone else.
So perhaps in a demonstration of, in a surprisingly heartfelt demonstration of community,
That's what I thought, yeah.
as you look around, you can see that the pirates that normally keep themselves to East Bay, the Sailor's Sanctum is like the border between Dorlashal and like Pirate Town. But the pirates are now like filtering through and helping where they can, because as it transpires, the pirate territory of Dorlashal has been largely unscathed. Dockside is still fully functional. East Bay hasn't received any damage. It has really just been the Dorlashal docks, the waters, and like the tourist spot, basically the tourist spot that happens to be situated around the portal, because of course it would be. But yeah, the pirates are helping with the relief efforts as best they can. You can see that they're bringing out crates on like wagons from their warehouses over on dockside, and perhaps it was quite curious to see like the huge hulking silhouette of Boss Ungriner handing out like food and water from the back of a cart to like these frankly quivering civilians. And there was just this curious gentleness to him. Like he was genuinely concerned for the well-being of the people of Dorlashal.
That's my boy.
That warms Cooper. Like I genuinely feel like Cooper was like bracing for the pirates to potentially be antagonistic, but I think he sees a lot of the people who brought him up in these pirates, that sense of community. So he's, one, very relieved, and two, that's why he feels okay about leaving Dorlashal in their capable hands. That's what he was trying to say to Gardy. I think it's going to be okay. The priority now is stopping this happening again. And
as you're sort of like saying this to Gardy, trying to like impress upon your Johnny friends, like what needs to be done. Like you hear this shuffle from the lump of muscle that's kind of sat just a little way off from you with his back to you. Well, I suppose we need to go back to Riceville now, Abe says. I mean, of all the people that know what's up with the world spirits, it's gonna be them.
You're not wrong.
It's gonna be you, Abe. You must know a bit.
Oh, I was never really into all that world spirit mumbo jumbo. But no, I've not been there for a while. But,
You'll come with us.
Well, I have to, don't I? Because you lot will all die if I don't.
fair.
You've all been smushed against the cobblestones. And I've got a score to set.
Sounds good to me.
Well, at least we know where we've got to go next now.
And like you see, like Abe's still like got his back to you. Just promise me that if we get the chance, we're gonna punch Malgorva right in the tip.
Sure.
Well, it wasn't on my list of things to do, but if you want...
He nods. And I think I don't even think it's the more kind of astute of you, but you do kind of get the feeling that there are things that Abe isn't saying, but quite notably missing from his little speech is his daughter.
Well, we ain't gonna get you all onto the island in my rowboat. It's just not big enough. So we're gonna have to get another ship back. By the looks of it, Ekso Draven's made a right old mess of the waters. So we can't use any Dollar Shoal boats. They're just splinterwood in the water.
Ungrida? Again? I don't know what he'll ask us to do this time, but hopefully it's not another plant man.
We're going to have to ask your girlfriend, Cooper.
She's not here, and she's not my girlfriend. Apparently, she's still on the island. Which is... I don't care. Anyway,
Well, that's fortunate for her.
Yeah. And again, I think there's a moment, like, Cooper's wondering if she knew. Because there's a sense of she knew so much more than she was letting on when he last saw her. And it was like her whole personality seemed to change from when they met. So he tries to shrug it off, but you can tell it's pissed him off. But yeah, either way, we can talk to the pirates.
Go on, Goldie.
I was going to say, yeah. I think Gardy can see that there's like an edge to Cooper that wasn't there before. And he can kind of sense in himself as well that he's not right. So I think I'll just okay. Let's just take a minute, everyone, and take a second to center ourselves. We're not. 10 minutes isn't going to hurt.
Maybe have a short rest. I want to use a thing.
I was going to say, it's up to you if you want to have a rest. So, because the thumb screws are not tightly wound enough, we are now in the territory of you can have as many long rests as you like. But every time you do, Ekso Draven's countdown clock will tick down closer to 0. And when it hits 0, something will happen.
It's dinner time. I need that on a shirt with Ekso's face. No, on a chef apron.
Him holding
A chef apron.
the
It's dinner time.
Little clock.
So there is now a long-term countdown clock in play that will tick down every time you have a long rest.
Cool.
And I believe officially on paper you can have like 2 or 3 short rests per long rest.
Would we all like a little sit down?
Yes, please.
So you're all having a short rest.
I'll
We've earned it.
I'll use.
Yes, you have.
I'll use my clarity of nature. Once per long rest, you can create a space of natural serenity within close range. Spend a few minutes resting within the space. Clear stress equal to your instinct. Distribute it as you choose between you and your allies. So, can I clear 2 stress from me and 2 from Coop, please?
Oh,
I
thanks.
thought we were only taking a short rest.
Yeah, I think there's just as you stare out over the waving fields of wreckage where once there was a town, I think I'm going to be trying to nudge you towards more of an understanding that, like, what happened with Aileen, you genuinely couldn't have done anything.
Just real quick. Yeah, no, Nate was right. Clarity of Nature is on a long rest as opposed to a short. Are you all happy to take a long and
I
reset?
thought it's once per long rest I can use Clarity of Nature, but I can only use it. I only need to rest for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We've been out rules lawyered.
Actually, I think you'll find it's once per long rest.
Livy, hello. Livy's in chat. We've summoned her.
Hi, Livy.
Hey, Livy.
We love you.
Love you, Livy. You miss.
Don't worry, Livy. Abe is being grumpy as per instruction. Okay, so yeah, you distribute the. So is there? Okay, so you distribute the stress. Noting, I will ask, how's Cass doing post Aileen?
She's doing great.
How is she doing in this post Aileen world?
She's great. She's grand. Everything's falling apart. The things she came here to do, not going well. She's excellent. I think she came here with a very straightforward determination, and she was very much planning to march to the island with Gaddy in tow as her spirit talker, and have this conversation. And it was going to be great. It was going to be grand. Nothing was going to go wrong. It was going to be really easy. The culmination of too much planning, and now everything's fallen apart. And I think she is gripping on to that determination and the fact that the wild spirits are still there with white knuckles. She is so determined that this is still going to be okay. She's not letting herself consider what's just happened to them all and what they've all just seen. She's pushing it away. That's unimportant. What is important right now is that she can still achieve what she's set here to do.
Hashtag, I cannot be stopped.
Cannot be stopped.
Well, okay. How's Cooper doing? Aileen's last words echoing in your mind?
I think it's just a mixture of everything. Like the fight beforehand, being so close to death is not something he ever imagined he'd get to. Like, he is a man who he fires at far range at people. He doesn't get close as he needs to get close. Ekso, the fight with Ekso was more because he saw that Cass was in danger and he realized the only thing he could do was get close. So him getting basically cut down, then blown up in the space of a few minutes. Like, he's still grieving, he's still processing everything that happened there. And I think seeing Cass almost die, knowing that Griffin was in trouble, knowing he could do nothing, like that powerlessness where usually he can just shoot crossbow and it's sorted, like I can just tell someone, convince someone that my way is the right way, but this is something he can't just control or fix. So he's determined to try and fix it. And just then, people dying in his arms are not exactly, does not help with any of those feelings or emotions you already have. And I think, I think he's just, I think also, like, he is still, like, I think he has got quite a severe, like, gouge in, like, his like upper shoulder and his head, where he got struck by Ekso. So even though that's thanks to Guardy probably healed, there is like a remnant of scar going on. Like that is definitely going to be a reminder every day of the fact that they failed.
I mean, just to keep this joy train running. Yeah, how's Griffin going? How's that cheery disposition holding up?
Griffin still fully believes that the reason why he survived was because Abe was standing in front of him when the blast happened. But he can see Abe sort of with his back still from everyone, and it's taking all of his might not to try and just give him a hug from behind. Like he's really like no, he doesn't like to be touched. Probably not best time. No, don't do it. He's probably just sort of looking around at the other three, and he'll sort of kneel down to Cooper, and go, "Hey, how you feeling?"
A bit shit, if I'm honest, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think his emotions can't take the better of him, and he'll probably give Cooper a hug instead.
Cooper will let him. He'll give him a pat. He'll be like, "It's all right, mate. It's all right. Just be careful. This arm hurts a bit."
Oh,
but
sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Let's give him a bit of a squeeze. You okay?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. What about that job you had on the south of the island? Do we know anything about them? Do we think they could help?
I mean, don't even know if the Git's alive. Should probably find out. Dan, have I seen Kit Cran at all? In whilst we're refugeeing, like is that even, because I guess that's quite important to note.
Yeah. So I would say within the last hour or so, much more recently, you spied Kigfran. So let's get his picture up. You spied Kigfran, like seemingly. It was a peculiar sight, seeing this kind of blind hooded man, like stood in the middle of the street, like two hands on the handle of the umbrella that he uses as a stick, and he just sort of like looking in the direction of the crater, and like turning his head, like tilting it almost as if he's just sort of like trying to listen into, like trying to sense something that's happening. And when you saw him, did you approach him?
I think probably, yeah. I think if Cooper had a moment just to go over, I think part of him is just like, is the money worth it considering, like, is the job worth it considering what's happening, or is this related? Like he wants an answer now, and he hopes he's going to get to one.
Okay. So what, as you approach Kigfran, what is your like question? What is your line of questioning?
So he doesn't look like he's been in the blast at all. Like he doesn't look like he's.
I mean, last time you saw him, he was over in the Bountiful Parlay, Pirate HQ.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Cooper's not necessarily a sneer, but kind of backhanded. Oh, you did well then. Didn't get involved.
Kigfran, like, he tilts his head in your direction as you approach, and it's always difficult
to try and understand the roiling and reckless hate that would cause someone to wreak such devastation on an urban environment such as this. It's a horror that one never gets used to.
And this job I'm doing, I hope it's nothing to do with what's happened here.
Kigfran sort of like lowers his head slightly, and
from what I understand, I believe not. However, this development, this Draven whose name they whisper, his presence complicates matters. For the foreseeable future, please, I appreciate your patience, but please consider your job, please consider the job on pause. I must make contact with my patron to decide on our next steps. And if they decide that the job is still worth performing the job, then I will once again be in touch.
Well, just so you know, I'm going to be on the island anyway, so if you can find a way of contacting me there, do so.
I will.
So when you mention you're going to the island, like, you notice like his eyebrows rise behind like his thick blindfold, and then he sort of like reaches into a pouch on his belt and produces what looks like a small pearl with this very fine, like, gold lattice filigree around it. And it's, it's only like a couple of inches, like, what, an inch and a half in diameter, tops. And he hands it to you and says, This is a receiver. If I have need of you, I will be in contact.
Very well. Thank you.
And Kigfran nods and, well, Kigfran, tilts his head and,
please, hold your thanks until we have appraised the situation better. Good evening.
And he sort of like he turns on his heels, and then you watch as he extends out, and there's a rhythmic tap, tap, tap as he makes his way back down the street.
So yeah, to fast forward then back to the conversation I'm having with Griffin, he explains that the job is on hold and he's waiting on further instruction anyway. So I don't think they're two related things right now.
I guess that's good. I guess it's just the keepers then. It's the village we've got to go to.
Yeah. Let's hope they don't kick us out again.
Oh, well, I'm sure if they know that things are going to be in danger, then...
I mean, they weren't here to... Well, I guess they could probably see, the devastation from over on the island. Potentially.
Quite possibly. It was a big boom.
Big boom.
Big bada boom.
Okay, so it sounds like plan is speak to pirates, get passage back to the Isles, get to the world spirits before Ekso and his knife and fork do.
Mhm.
Okay. In which case, real quick, round the houses, are we taking a short rest? I assume so.
Yes.
Okay.
I have reactively taken that short rest.
Well, tell you what, we'll start with Tim. What are Guardy's 2 short rest activities?
I get 3 short rest activities.
All
because
3,
of
yes.
my
Your
special
trance.
trance. I will, with my special trance, clear my stress. I have cleared 3 on my 1d4.
Amazing.
And who's looking the most battered out of us?
I think it's still me, but then there's also Abe to consider.
Abe is
I don't-
not
He's
looking
probably
peachy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I'll spend a bit of time tending to some of Abe's injuries. Like, I think I can pick up from him that he doesn't want to talk about anything, so I'm just sort of silently. I'm out of basically tapped at the moment, so I'm just using my good old-fashioned herbs and poultices and bandages for a bit. So that will be 3 hit points for young Abe.
Okay, 3. I believe he's got 10 hit points now, but yeah, that takes him up to 3. Well, that takes him up to 4 because he was on 1.
George, do you want to prepare? Do you want to prep with me?
How shall we prepare? What are we preparing?
I thought we could plot, and thereby gain hope.
Plotting.
Yes.
I do need some hope. I am hopeless. I am as hopeless Eileen at the moment.
Not quite that
Not
hopeless.
quite.
Yeah. So, if we can spend a bit of time to prepare together and just be
Yeah, I suppose we'd be, because Gardy is basically Cass's walkie-talkie to the world spirits. So I imagine they'll be plotting about but how best to communicate with them, and if they can think of a way to get rid of the infection that is.
Yeah, brainstorming on that.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably just take a minute to say as well, like, you didn't have to do that, Cass.
Do what?
I appreciate that you helping all those people today. That wasn't a mission. That wasn't us getting closer to getting more information. That it was just really lovely to see that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Needed to be done.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, you've helped with that, so I'll help with getting these spirits sorted, eh?
I'd like that a lot. Thanks.
So anyway, you were saying about something about the conflux of...
So the 2 of you, if you're preparing, you both gain 2 hope.
Nice.
So we'll move on to Cass. So you're preparing as one of your slots.
Mm-hmm.
What's your second?
Is it stress I can remove?
So you can drop D4 hit points, D4 stress, or D4 armor.
I will. D4 hit points, I think. That's the most pressing.
Okay, if you roll that out. And also, while you're here in chat, Livy, if you could let me know what you'd like to do on your short rest, then I'll top up your character sheet for you.
1.
Oh, no.
Okay.
There we go, that's still fine.
So one stress back in the kitty. Griffin.
Griffin is going to patch himself up a bit, and he's going to get back some HP.
Okay.
Oh, lovely thorn. Thank you very much. and I'm also going to roll. So he's going to stitch up his now tattered jacket from, well, his tattered armor from being blasted about and such as well. So it's a nice little one on there.
One armor.
Okay. Yep, and that's Griffin then.
Cooper.
Okay, so I'm definitely gonna heal my wounds. So just to check, I've got here that I can. Do you know what? Ignore me. It's fine. It says some. Oh no! It says here equal. So you can clear the number of hit points equal to 1d4 plus your tier. According to this, so my tier would be 3. So it would be 1d4 plus 3 for my wounds.
Oh, what are you? Is it D4?
This is what comes up on demiplane for wounds, not for stress or armor, but for wounds it might. I could be wrong. This is what come up on demiplane, so I was like, oh, that's useful because then my tier is now plus 3, unless it's just a rogue thing.
It's dawned on me. I'm probably reading beta rules. Downtime, short rest. It is plus tier, so everyone that's healed wounds gets another 3 hit points back.
Cool.
Ooh.
Yay.
And everyone who's cleared stress gained another 3 stress. Yeah, it's all just D4 plus tier.
Oh, nice.
Well, cool.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I'm so glad. Woohoo! Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna roll my d4 for my wounds. Plus 3, so my wounds are completely healed. Thank God for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Make that full now, and then it would be my d4 for clearing patching my armor. So yeah, so my armor is all back to normal as well, which is a massive relief to everybody involved. Cool.
Livy, just real quick, because you now have like 9 armor, and you want to do armor slots, all armor, all the time. Do you want me to do 1d4 plus 3, see where we're at, and then do it again if need be? Because you are on 4 hit points. Tell you what, I'll do the armor, because I think Livy will shoot me if I don't give Abe some more armor. So plus 3. Abe regains 5 armor. And then we'll... Livy, you got 5 armor and 4 hit points. Let me know what you want the last one to be. Cool. So, everyone is topped up on short rest? Okay. I believe you had a long rest before you left for the island. You had a long rest overnight at the tavern. So you've had 2 long rests so far by my reckoning. 1 on the journey back from the islands and 1 now. So we'll check. So it could well be that your next one needs to be a long rest, but we'll check that. Are the group of you heading towards dockside to kind of secure passage with the pirates back to the island?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, are we just to check? It's nighttime. Are we traveling at nighttime, or are we resting, and then going? Like, what in terms of narratively? How is this playing out? Because it is.
I mean, in effect, it's up to you. How, like, what time you want to leave.
We could leave at dawn. Like, if we've long rested sort of through the night.
Yeah.
And now it's getting to dawn, so that would make sense for getting a boat, I suppose.
Okay. So not long resting, so we don't
Just
trigger. So just resting for the night. So yeah, just okay. 5.
Sorry, how long's the boat journey in time, roughly?
Like an hour.
Okay,
So
enough for a nap, but not for a proper.
Correct.
Yeah, I think more of a sleep, like a power nap sort of thing.
Correct. Yeah, definitely get your stock 4 hours of sleeping. So, as you find yourself once again in dockside as the sun crests over the horizon, and you there's a sense of deja vu as twice in 24 hours at this precise point you found yourself waiting to head back to the island. But the difference is there's I guess health. Okay. Thank you, Livy. The difference is the atmosphere is a lot more somber. But more driven at the same time. And it extends out to the environment around you. Even like the cawing seabirds seem a lot more kind of muted than usual, almost as if they also mourn the loss that Dorlashal has just suffered. And as you see like a number of the dock hands kind of loading, unloading crates, barrels and whatnot onto the ship that you sailed over to Dorlashalin. Like I'm Boss Ungrener's ship. And then as you're sort of like stood there waiting for sort of like permission to start boarding for all intents and purposes, you feel this presence join you. I think it's probably you, Gardy, that you notice someone's just kind of arrived with you and stood next to your group. And as you turn to regard this new arrival, I haven't got the updated picture. I don't know where it's gone, but we'll just have to use our big brains to imagine. Stood alongside you in a travelling cloak is Maya Balroon, Coraline Balroon, but notably the relatively wispy shoulder-length hair that she had yesterday is gone. A freshly shaven head, and you immediately note that on her scalp is a lattice of what appear to be like arcane glyphs. You recognize them as Cassandra, tattooed onto her scalp and down the back of her neck, and by the looks of it, sprawling out onto her shoulders. And underneath the travelling cloak, who between the four of you has spent the most time in Avonmore, or has the most experience in the war? Had the most experience in the war, I just say. Maybe
Don't
Cooper?
know. I don't think Cooper spent a long time in the war, but I think he was always on the borders of it. Like, I feel like he was always in a place that was affected by war throughout the war because of his city traveling.
In which case, I think I'll say that this probably is Cass that picks up on it, given your family's magical background. But you notice that under this kind of travelling shawl is a flash of ultramarine blue robe. And you can't help but furrow your brow, and as your eye traces down kind of the mayor's figure, you notice that holding the travelling cloak kind of closed across her front to kind of keep the early morning chill off her, her hands are in two large, ornate gauntlets that you note look very almost identical to those worn by the portal mages that stepped through the portal during the battle last night. And it dawns on you as the mayor looks to you, and she she knows that you've figured it out. And she says, before you kind of get a chance to say anything, I wasn't always a mayor. I made a bit of a name for myself during the war. I thought I'd left that life behind after the eschaton, but it would seem that fate would have me dragged back into it. I'm more than capable. My arm has been healed. But I will not let the transgressions against my town go unanswered. So I am joining your little expedition to the Isles.
Dan?
Yes.
Could I do a knowledge roll?
Yes.
Could I also use my experience and my knowledge of arcane magic to understand her runes a bit better?
Yeah.
Could I also use my lawborn community for well read, so I take an advantage on this roll?
Stack them up.
Stack.
Yes. No, absolutely. Slather them all on.
Yeah.
You'll need a hope for the...
Yeah, spend a hope for the experience.
No, tell you what. So what's your experience? So you've got Lawborn, you've got knowledge of arcane. You are yourself a Sanguivar. You know what? I think you've got enough dominoes stacked in your favour.
Right.
You just auto pass.
Okay.
You notice that she is a battle mage. She wields these, you've heard tales of these battle mages. They were arcane spell wielders that would charge into battle in magical armor and gauntlets of incredible arcane power, and they were the arcane equivalent of a sledgehammer. Kind of darting into enemy formations, the power within the gauntlets amplifying their strength to in Lorivar levels, not in human, in Lorivar, almost unmortal levels. Battle mages were a fearsome foe to face on the battlefield, and both sides of the war had them. And perhaps the picture, the backstory of this mayor, you immediately kind of see it kind of more coloured in. If she was, for all intents and purposes, a shock trooper in a war between gods, perhaps settling down and becoming a mayor would have been the suitable reward for everything that she had to have done. So yeah, there's this you can see a clenching on her back teeth slightly as you see this woman who's the battle mages also almost exclusively, because it was a Majani tradition originally, so almost in honor, battle mages would shave their heads to mirror that of the Majani forebears. And it dawns on you that this woman's hair was probably growing since the eschaton. Well, perhaps a little bit after. Perhaps it's been growing since she became mayor. And now it's gone. She has returned to who she was.
Well, we're going to need all the help we can get. It's good to have you aboard.
She nods. And yeah, she there's this different kind of persona that she holds. There's this different gravitas that surrounds her. And as you sort of turn your attentions away from Coraline, you notice that there's a commotion on the harbour. and kind of rearing round the edge of like one of the like rearing round into view of dockside, you spy the ship you were expecting to go on was like a brigantine, kind of like a 3-mast sloop, a small to medium-sized vessel that was built for speed more so than anything. But suddenly, round into view, crests this galleon, a large, like multi-tiered ship, sails towards the docks of dockside, and you notice that the 5 of you notice at this moment, or 5 of you plus Coraline, notice that there are a number of sort of like dinghies, like rowboats, being prepped to sail you out to the ship because it's large enough that it wouldn't fit in the docks of dockside. And some of the pirates turn to regard you and sort of like begin to beckon you over, and it dawns on you that you are not returning on the vessel on Boss Ungrina's vessel. You're going on this giant, this Goliath of a ship by comparison, and it makes you wonder if why is that not Ungrina's ship? Why haven't we seen this ship before? And no one really answers your questions as you are rowed out to this large kind of warship. It is a warship, with this large, what you note is this large kind of gold pointed figurehead at the front of the ship. The ship, whilst its size is large, it still looks quite sleek. It looks quite exotic in terms of construction. It's curious. It's got, instead of like 3 masts along the middle, it's got the masts are in a diamond shape fundamentally, like 2, one at the front, one at the back, 2 in the middle, turned slightly. And as you are moored up to the side of the ship, and then you're kind of beckoned to climb the rope ladders up onto the deck, you notice that even the pirates seem a bit more subdued, a bit more reverent. And seemingly in answer to any questions you have as to who owns the ship, you watch in surprise as from another rowboat, Boss Ungrina climbs onto the deck alongside you. And as he turns to you, you hear one of the pirates on the deck shout, "Bosun on deck!" And all eyes turn to Boss Ungrina. Who Cooper? You're a criminal.
Yeah, there I am.
There's a part of you that, like, your eyes, you frown slightly. Boss Ungrina was just referred to as the bosun. And as he looks to you, like looking at your frown, your look of confusion, why was Boss Ungrina called bosun? You then hear, like, he then turns and bellows in his loud, booming voice, "Captain on deck!" And all eyes turn to the navigation deck at the rear of the ship. And Cooper, your blood runs cold as, looking down at you from the navigation deck, stands Elismira, the Pirate Queen.
Okay.
And we will call it there.
Well, that answers a couple of questions, isn't it? Whoops.
guess Cooper's just got a thing for women who can and will shoot him dead.
I mean, this is fair and valid. He deserves it.
Living life on the edge.
Yeah, he has a type. What can I say?
Elsewhere. In elsewhere. Just need to very quickly check some notes before I make some bold claims.
I mean.
Oh no, it's not in Foundry. Hold! Speculate amongst yourselves. Hurry!
BBEG has just gone, oh, actually, I'm really sleepy. I'm going to have a sleep for 100 years now. That explosion
right
really took
back.
it out of me. Time for a really long nap. Honk shoe, honk shoe.
I was really hoping that the captain was just going to be Dan's goblin again.
Can break.
Livy would never return. Livy would never return to the game.
I heard you need some help. Say.
Elsewhere. In elsewhere. There is a soft blue flicker of light in a rather lavish office. There are crystal decanters of rich wines arrayed on shelves along the rooms. There are old, seemingly thought-lost tomes aligning the various bookshelves in this office study. And a voice a deep voice emanating out from this blue glow. The blue glow seems to flicker in unison with the voice. I would understand that he is some sort of zealot. He will prove to be a nuisance to our plans. How would you like us to proceed? And as Kigfran's voice echoes out into this office, a more elderly Sanguivar man in fine regal attire turns his head to a figure sat in a chair just in front of this orb. And the figure has their head low, a hood concealing their features. This is Lord Sorrowwind. I've discussed the matter with our patron here, and it is decided that the mission shall be continued. We need what it is you seek. Please do what you can to recruit this Cooper. There is a grunt of affirmation from the orb. Has there been any decision on the other development, this Griffin? And the Sanguivar Lord straightens his back. That is still being discussed. We will sort this. We will look into this further. Kigfran gives another affirmative grunt. and the orb putters out. Lord Sorrowwind turns to the figure sat in the chair, the hooded figure sat in the chair, and it's never easy, is it? But I suppose it never will be for us. And as he steps behind the chair, he takes hold of the two handles and wheels the wheelchair around, and the patron is wheeled out onto a balcony overlooking a grand city. But soon, everything will work out for us, just as it was always supposed to. And in their seat, the hooded patron slowly nods as a soft glow emanates from under the shawl that conceals their torso. Congratulations, everyone, on completing episode 8.
Yay.
We did it. We have kicked off Act 2. We're heading back to the island. We're gonna do some stuff. Some stuff absolutely will happen, but we will have to see what exactly happens and in what order. And you can find out along with us next Monday, and every Monday after that until we finish the campaign. So, thank you everyone for watching in chat and in YouTube and over in Twitch. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for and Livy. We'll say thank you to Livy as well. Okay, bye Livy. Thank you to you for playing. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to once again hit the like button, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch. If you want to see more stuff like this, please absolutely join the Discord. It's free to join. If you really like what we're doing, consider becoming a member here on YouTube or a patron over on Patreon. There we go, the music is playing now. Over on Patreon, because there's loads more stuff happening in the Discord. I think that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching, thank you for playing. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.